welcome to the Rami Magic Show. Today we have Clement, a really good friend of mine, probably one of the first people I met when I entered the mortgage industry. And we also had a book club together. I learned so much from him. Today he is still a very successful real estate agent, but also a coach that helps business people, real estate agents succeed and find their way in the business. Marty, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thanks for coming, man. I was on yours to help some realtors understand the mortgage industry a little bit more.
Yes, thank you so much.
And now you're here.
I'm here.
To tell us more about the coaching business.
Yeah, for sure. So I've been coaching agents for a few years now. I've been in real estate sales for 15. Mm-hmm. And I've achieved pretty much everything that I set out to achieve in the real estate world. For a big time, the goal was to sell $1 million in GCI per year.
Yep.
And I managed to make that happen. And I was thinking to myself, could I keep going higher? Of course. There's some guys that make a lot more money than that. But I love having an impact on the people around me. And the best way to do that right now is to coach other agents.
Right. There's something about having an impact on the people around you.
Yeah.
It has such a stronger currency than the dollar.
Yeah, man.
And it's you're seeing people succeed and coming to you and say, thank you for helping me with this, or thank you for helping me look at this in a different way. Yeah. Something special about that.
I love it. Whenever a coaching client comes back to me and he says, you know what, we worked on what we talked about, and things are so much better right now. And just that is my reward. Right. It makes such a big impact. I love selling houses, and I still do, by the way. And it's a good feeling when you get that victory for that client, they get the house of their dreams, or they finally sell the house they've been wanting to sell and close the chapter. In this market, we're doing that, and we're also offering them like sometimes $100,000 over asking price. So it's a really special time in the real estate market.
Yep.
But coaching it's a new passion. And for the next 10 years, I see myself doing that for sure.
So you do courses?
Yeah, I've got an online course. It's called Foundations, Your First 5 Weeks in Real Estate. What I've done is I've taken 15 years of my career, and I've had the opportunity to work at every level of real estate. I started off as a receptionist for a brokerage here in town. And then I became that business's admin assistant. I was a buyer agent. Then I was a solo agent. Then I was a struggling solo agent. Then I had a very good few years as a solo agent. Then I was a team leader with over $1 million in GCI. And I take all that experience, all those lessons, and I crunch it down into a 5-week course that new agents should definitely take in order to accelerate their career and maybe get the victories a bit faster and avoid some of the pitfalls that I had in my career. Yeah. And actually this morning we set up a code for anybody that wants to take that course. If they put in the code Rami, they'll get a 20% discount.
I'm honored.
Yeah, man.
Rami, capital.
Do you want me to change it? You want me to put Rami
I like,
Magic?
No. That's tempting. I like Rami Magic.
Well,
it's okay. Let's keep it at Rami.
We could put both. It doesn't matter. We could put both, but
so promo code Rami or Rami Magic.
Yeah, Rami is easier, buddy. We'll do both.
All right.
It doesn't matter.
We can keep it at Rami. It's fine. That's really cool, Marty. Mm-hmm. I can see you writing a book soon too.
Mm-hmm. The book is in the works.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it should be out in about 6 months.
It's hard to write a book in 6 months.
Yeah.
So how much time do you spend on that every day?
So I have been spending, the last 10 years writing it.
Oh, wow.
And it's essentially an operation manual for any agent that wants to grow a successful real estate team. So in there, we've got, all the processes. Whenever they sign a new listing, what should they do? Whenever they go out and do their goal setting for the year, how do they break it down?
So Marty, how often did you have to go back and change some stuff? Because the real estate industry, and as you know best, has changed.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's funny we're talking about this because I just put out a video yesterday about the 3 pitfalls for real estate agents. And the reason number 3 is that there's so much new stuff out there that new agents are getting confused. They're like, well, there's TikTok, and now there's there's a new app, Me, and whatever, Facebook feature, and I'm going to do something creative and generate leads that way. Get me some business on this new platform, TikTok Reels and okay, those things are cool, but the tried and true tactics of the past are still the foundations of any successful real estate career. Mm-hmm. Building a solid database, keeping in touch with the people that know you, that like you, your past clients. Yeah. Take care of that stuff, because that's what I like to call the low-hanging fruit.
Right.
And then if you want to do any creative stuff, that creative stuff from today could become evergreen, meaning that it could become part of the solid foundation.
Right.
But, in most cases, it's fleeting.
Yeah.
We used to advertise on Kijiji free classifieds, and we'd have a link to a website. It was like, get your list of free 5 hottest townhouses in Orleans. Mm-hmm. And then we'd be able to post a link right on the Kijiji. At some point, Kijiji's it's free classified. I'm not sure if everybody knows that.
Yeah.
At some point, Kijiji took that away. So, that was good for a moment, but now it's not. But what I like to teach people is just the stuff that will remain forever. The relationship stuff.
You, from the time I've met you, you've always had these really cool, really cool ideas and just access to this, to different, either apps or projects or tools or, I don't want to call them phases, but experiments that you would do. Mm-hmm. Like you've done an experiment where you didn't have a cell phone, a smartphone. You've experimented with waking up earlier, writing earlier. You've always had adjusted your routine, okay? In order to better yourself. The whole purpose is to better yourself. And I'm constantly in that, in that part where it's like, okay, well, should I wake up earlier or should I sleep later at night, right? And if I sleep later at night, I wake up later and I miss my morning. I feel like when I wake up earlier, it's better, et cetera, et cetera. And I know you've tried all these different things, and a lot of entrepreneurs out there struggle with that. You watch these motivational videos on YouTube. They tell you, the 5 a.m. club or whatever it is, you wake up in the morning and meditate, read. It's sometimes unrealistic. And it's also unrealistic if you have children. It's unrealistic if your job requires you to stay up a little bit later, because something happened. Life is so predictable. Sticking to a routine is so hard.
Yeah, okay? It is.
How is that going for you now?
Actually, it's always a struggle because, I think that to establish any type of new habit is the most difficult thing. But once you establish a new habit, it becomes part of your back, software operational system.
Yeah.
So waking up at 4 a.m., I've been doing that for years. Was it difficult at first? Yes.
Are you still waking up at 4 a.m.?
Yes, sir. Yeah. It's
so it's like lunchtime for you now.
No, well, we're doing intermittent fasting.
Right. Okay.
Stuff like that. So,
So you wake up at 4 a.m. What time do you eat at?
Most days it'll be probably 3:30.
3:30. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You wake up at 4 a.m. every day, even on the weekends?
No. I won't say every day, but maybe about 80% of the time. Okay. And when I do wake up at that 4 a.m. and I get my routine in, I've got a 5-minute stretch routine. I've got 30 minutes of reading.
Can you show us the stretch routine?
Sure. You want to insert it here?
No, okay. Yeah.
It's just like doing overhead squats and some lunges.
Just get your body moving, your blood flowing. Okay.
Downward dog, and I always close the blinds when I do those stretches.
Okay.
I don't want to freak out the neighbors.
Right. Good detail there for sure.
Yeah. You want to close the blinds.
Okay, so you stretch, you read, you do a workout. All this at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
At what time do you actually look at your phone?
I try not to turn on my phone before 9 a.m.
Turn on your phone. So your phone is off up until 9?
Airplane mode.
Airplane mode, okay.
Yeah, so completely off.
This morning... So what does airplane mode do? If somebody calls you, does it go straight to voicemail?
Yes.
Okay.
Straight to voicemail. Friday mornings are a bit different. We're Friday morning, and Friday morning is when I upload to my YouTube channel. So this morning was, uploading to YouTube before doing this interview.
Okay.
So every week
it's not an interview. Everybody calls it an interview. It's a discussion.
Podcast.
Well, whatever.
A little chit chat, fireside chat.
It does seem like an interview because I'm always asking people questions.
But putting in the important stuff in the schedule really makes a big difference.
When do you put your stuff in the schedule?
Months, years in advance.
Years.
Well, right now, I've got a few things in my schedule, like my coaching clients. They're always at the same time. They're booked in indefinitely.
Do you review it every week? Like, is it Sunday night? Do you sit down and say, okay, this is what I've got going on this week?
So right now, I've got a few major goals that I'm trying to achieve.
Okay. And
until those goals are achieved, I've got dedicated time in my schedule completely blocked off for those goals. Okay. So my coaching clients, producing content for my YouTube channel, that's Thursday afternoon between 1 and 3.
Can you run me through that a little bit more? I want you to elaborate on this, okay?
Time blocking?
Time blocking.
Yeah.
What do you do during the time block? What if you get a phone call during that time block?
You just don't take it.
Okay.
You don't? I mean...
That's discipline. That's a lot of commitment.
But it's tough because we're in the service industry.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're doing something for yourself, you've got guilt around that because your client's calling you, he's freaking out. But what if you were working with, let's say, a multi-million-dollar deal client, and you were with that client from 1 to 3, right? And got other clients calling you. Are you going to say to your client, oh, hold on, I got to go run out of here. I got to steal from my attention to your file. Go give it to that guy. Would you do that?
That's a good point. No, I wouldn't.
So for me,
yeah,
being disciplined on my own stuff allows me to be more present when I am with my client. Whenever I go on a listing appointment, that's one of the first things I'll do. I'll greet the client at the front door, and then after I take off my shoes to go into their house, I've got this little habit of taking out my phone, say, let me put this phone on airplane mode so we're not bothered for the next hour.
Okay.
And then the clients really appreciate that. And there's rarely any emergency. I mean, people have stuff come up in their life, and if your wife is
but it's
sick,
also
yeah.
it's a very busy time. Okay.
Yeah.
Like we are in a real estate market right now where things are just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And everybody wants answers right away because they need to put an offer in and all of that stuff. So
then I'm not the guy.
Well, it's not that. It's not that if you don't answer the call between 1 and 3, that's not the issue. The issue is you as a person, as a business person. Like for me, I would get extreme anxiety if my phone is shut off for 2 hours. Okay, like it's a real problem, and it's a real problem I think for a lot of people because they need to be on their phones to answer the call. In my position particularly, I'm waiting for calls from either my assistant or my underwriter or a client that's calling me back about some paperwork that we're requesting, or maybe it's a new client, or maybe it's a real estate agent or a referral source. So after 5 o'clock, sometimes I could block off some time to be with my children or to do some reading or whatever the case may be. But I feel it's very, very hard to do that during the day. Mm-hmm. But I also feel like during the day is when you're most productive. Because if you're working from 8 o'clock in the morning until 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., the last thing you want to do is, for example, there's a huge snowstorm that day, shovel the snow, let alone block some time off to do some marketing or some content development or whatever the case may be, right? So it requires a lot of discipline, a lot of anxiety, because of the anxiety that it causes.
I find that the more disciplined I am on my schedule, the more freedom I have. Let me explain. Because I know that every Tuesday night, starting from 6 p.m. until whenever, that's date night. I'm with Marie-Pierre, and every Sunday, all day, I'm off. I'm working most of the week, but I know that those times are blocked off
Okay.
for personal time. Then I got my goal time, right? Stuff that I really want to work on, my coaching clients, pretty much all day Monday. And then my content production, which is pretty much Thursday afternoon and also posting on Friday morning. You could look at my schedule and you'd say, wow, like this guy's got a lot of free time still left open, but I'm still hitting off those big ticket items that I want to achieve, and that lowers my stress.
How do you focus? How do you stay focused on that task between 1 and 3 or 6 to 9? Because when it's date night with your girlfriend,
it helps when you have a partner.
Of course, yeah. But when you're like a business partner.
Well, when I do my coaching appointments, I've got an appointment with that client.
Okay.
Right.
So that's very key, right there. What you just said. It's like you have a business partner.
Yeah.
That you guys work and feed off of each other.
Yeah. So client appointment with a client.
Yeah.
Producing content appointment with the producer.
So your clients are not losing any service.
Zero.
Okay.
Zero.
No. So that's key. That's okay. You started to give me anxiety, Marty.
Sorry, I don't want to stress you out, but
you actually don't stress me out. Your voice is very calming to me.
Thanks, man. I'm trying to work on that. I'm trying to up my my charisma points a bit.
Yeah, I mean, so that's another thing, right? There's a lot of I had Ahmed Khan.
Yes.
He's a great speaker.
Yeah.
He teaches comedy.
Yeah.
And he was telling me how he was giving us a few things to look into last week. And one thing I've noticed about him is always smiling, right?
Yeah.
He just loves life. A lot of comedians, they show off as if they love life, right? And they became comedians because they had this insecurity that they couldn't speak, so that they there's a lot of stories out there.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you can get coached into being a better speaker. And which leads me to this. You can get coached to becoming a better speaker that will eventually help you in business. It'll help you in social settings.
Yeah.
Just like being coached to be a good real estate agent or a better real estate agent can help you with other things in life.
True.
Even if you have other endeavors and other business opportunities. So your coaching, it's geared towards real estate agents, but other people can learn from that as well.
I think so, and long run that might be something that might be coming down the pipe.
Like a business coach?
Probably there will be some branching off into just general entrepreneurial coaching, because a lot of the principles do work from real estate to any business, right? Everybody that's in business is in lead generation. Everybody that's in business is in lead follow-up. Yeah. Everybody that's in business can benefit from time blocking. Anybody that's in business can benefit from building new habits, right? And I like what you said there about building your charisma and improving your public speaking skills. Warren Buffett said that the fastest way to multiply your income is to become better at expressing your ideas. Mm-hmm. And that's the reason it was Warren Buffett's advice that I joined Toastmasters a few years ago. You're familiar with Toastmasters?
Yes. I was supposed to join as well.
Yeah, I had you coming into one of the evenings, right?
Yes.
And
COVID hit.
That's one thing that I miss, man.
Yeah.
I miss interacting with groups of people because I'm not good at it. And this whole past year or 10 months, I think really hurt a lot of people on the social front.
Yeah, no social interaction.
No, I mean, it's going to be weird, like starting up that engine again.
I think in any business, being a good storyteller, and by storyteller, you're not saying tales. Being a storyteller is just expressing your ideas, talking about whatever you're thinking or your opinion in a comfortable way for the listener.
Yeah.
And that's what public speaking is about.
Yeah, man.
Like I've watched so much TED Talks and all of them talk very similarly. Like their structure is very similar.
Yeah. Transformational.
Yeah.
You want to understand where they were before, why they had a problem.
Yeah. And you can tell some of them were very awkward, but they've learned to be entertaining.
Yeah.
They would throw in a joke. And one thing Ahmed was saying last week is actually, the best thing to capture somebody's audience, to capture the audience's attention, is to make them laugh.
Of course.
I'm not a funny guy. I mean, you're
a funny guy.
Sometimes, and
I love your intros to your show.
Is that?
I love your intros to your show. They're good. Where'd you come up with that idea?
Which one?
The Rami magic, where you do like a little magic trick.
Oh, well, in the mortgage industry, I've had one client call me a magician. So I just clicked. I'm like, oh, Rami magic, that sounds good.
I started.
I
really like that angle.
Yeah.
It's cool. I wish I had a hook like that. Maybe it'll come.
One day. I mean, you've been in the business for how long?
15 years.
It would have came already. Right?
Yeah.
But you can always reinvent yourself.
I could always reinvent myself.
You can always reinvent yourself. But honestly, at the end of the day, everybody in the city knows who you are. You've built a very strong name for yourself in the industry.
Yeah.
I don't know how much handles work. I mean, it's fun. It's fun, but I just don't know how much it works.
I remember it.
Well, that's good.
I'm sure that most people that see it remember.
Good.
The magic trick, and then I'm not a magician, but I can work magic with numbers, something like that, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Anyway, and that's the story of it, and that's why it's so important to tell a good story when you're in business, and the whole idea behind the magic trick and the whole idea behind Rami magic is that you're almost telling a story that you've done some magic in the mortgage industry.
That's good.
And that's what it's about.
I like it.
It's you're promoting your skills in a fun, entertaining way.
Yeah.
It's when there's a lot of competition out there, it's hard to get out there. It's hard to be in front of people.
Let me ask you a question. How has producing content online helped your business?
I think it has helped when I see people randomly. A lot of them tell me that they've watched, or a lot of them tell me that they like some of the stuff that I've posted.
Okay.
Lately, I've been, this video has been the most consistent type of content I've been producing because, it's just so busy to write, so busy to do all of these things. So it's almost the only type of exposure that I'm putting out there right now.
Is it time blocked in your schedule?
This is time blocked in my schedule, but that's why it's at 8:00 in the morning.
There you go.
Right? Because it's everything that goes wrong at 8:00 in the morning, I can fix at 9:00 in the morning. But I'm suffering from severe anxiety right now, Marty.
Why?
Because it's time blocked.
Oh, and do you have appointments to get to?
I do, yeah. But anyway, and I was saying, there's so much, there is always so much involved in producing content. Mm-hmm. So that's why I really respect when you tell me a time block to produce content, because you're not only simply writing things down or writing content, but you're coming up with ideas on what you want to talk about in the upcoming weeks, right?
Yes, most definitely.
What kind of structure do you have?
So I signed up for a course called YouTube for Bosses. It's a course by Sunny Leonard Doozy, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. She's a girl from Vancouver, and she's built up a channel about how to generate content.
Okay.
And she's got a course, I think it's like $400 or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's a few weeks of content of how to look what's popular in your niche. Your niche means your specific market. See what's working. Look at the most popular topics, look at those videos, break it down how you could make it even better.
How do you find the most popular topics?
Well, like for me, you could start off by going into the YouTube search bar and just write how real estate agents, and then boom, YouTube will fill in.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so you could do how mortgage brokers, and there's a cool thing that you could download. It's called TubeBuddy.
TubeBuddy. Okay.
And if you download that app, it's an extension on Chrome. It will say next to the search word, how mortgage brokers find leads, how mortgage brokers get better rates, And then to next to each one of those search topics, you'll actually have the amount of times that topic is searched per month.
Okay.
So I like to produce content that is searched anywhere from 100 to 1,000 times per month. That's where I'm going to break through. That's where people are searching. There's a good amount of volume. And that's where the market isn't flooded. Because if you search PewDiePie, search like 20,000 times per month.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be producing content about PewDiePie is a big YouTuber, for those that don't know. If you do content on PewDiePie, you're competing against tens of thousands of videos. You want to find a segment of the market where you're a big fish in a small pond.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how I find topics for my YouTube.
Where do you gather this type of knowledge?
From the course that I took with Sonny.
Okay.
And it's amazing, man. Every time,
Go ahead. No, keep going.
Every time that I try to do something new, I start with this conception that I know everything already. There's nothing new under the sun.
I know.
But then I look for a new mentor, and then paf, like my whole horizon is like widened. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, now I know everything.
I took a course on SEO.
Oh,
and after that, I thought I knew everything. So I started dismissing, marketing gurus or social media gurus that would give me some type of advice. Like, oh, I knew that already.
Yeah, man.
But then if you actually listen, you might pick up something. And that's why it's so important. Like, spend money on courses. It's okay. They're not all scams, okay? Some of them are actually pretty good. And it's very simple to determine whether something is a scam or not. Just Google it. Mm-hmm. Okay? Google and put the word spam next to it.
But that's confirmation bias.
What do you mean?
So if you think that drinking coffee is causing you to gain weight, you'll look in Google. You say, can coffee cause weight gain? You'll find articles that say that coffee can cause weight gain.
I understand what you mean.
Right?
Okay. So the way you're Googling something.
Well, it's called confirmation bias. You're actually looking to validate whatever you're searching for, right? And that's a problem with today because people don't necessarily put out content in order to help people discover new things. They're putting out content because they want to confirm people's existing biases. And we see this on the news, right?
Yeah.
There's one channel that says this whole thing about, this one politician, and then you go to another news channel, and then this channel is saying like a completely different story. And I think that's a problem in today's society.
Well, yeah, and the division in information right now, even about, the novel coronavirus is perfect proof of that.
Yeah, some people are, let's lock everything down, and some people are like, let's open it up. And like most things, the right answer is probably somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
And that's why I love hiring mentors that are in a field outside of my own.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like right now I'm releasing my course on Kajabi, and I hired a coach for that. Kajabi is where I host my online course.
Right.
And I thought I knew everything, and I do know a lot about real estate, so I got the course ready. And then it came time to launch it, and I was like, hold on a second, I don't know anything about this. So I hired a coach that's specialized in launching courses on Kajabi. And after spending a few weeks of doing one-on-one coaching, 1 hour a week, she's taught me so much, right? Because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
You just don't.
You don't think about it at all.
No.
You think, it's opening up a larger lens. It's really, it's
different perspective.
It gives you a different perspective, and it helps you grow.
Yeah.
That's the most important part.
Yeah. Have you ever hired a coach in the mortgage industry?
No, but I did. I watched a lot of other agents perform. I've been around a lot of superstar agents. I've watched them perform. I've literally sat next door to them without them knowing I'm there.
You've become a superstar, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. So, and just listening to the things that they say, the way they handle situations, ask questions, So I did take courses on, so, every week we'd have, different lenders coming on and marketing people come on and teach us stuff, and they were all free. So I took every single one of those courses. I spent a lot of time at night reading policies and stuff like that. So I didn't take a course from an outside source that wasn't offered to me, okay? I did consider it multiple times, but in our industry, the brokerage that you work with is mostly, they offer these types of courses already.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
It's not something that I will never. Actually, I did buy a book about how to become a better mortgage broker.
Gotcha. Did you learn something new from it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's probably the most influential book for mortgage brokers. Okay, so that's one type of coaching. But to have this one-on-one coaching, mentor, almost like a business therapy, I've never had that. And it's something that sometimes I wish I could have, because I think it would relieve a lot of the anxiety of being an entrepreneur.
Well, we talked about this before coming on camera, and when we do podcasts, I don't like talking before we get rolling, because I never remember if we talked about this on camera. But I think that having a coach, it will allow you to see it from a different perspective, and especially if you've got a business partner in the industry. You could be getting along just fine right now, but one partner's got a vision that's 1% to the left, and then the other one 1% to the right. And for now, it doesn't matter, because it's basically the same thing. But zoom that out for like 3 years, and both partners are way in different areas, and they don't see eye to eye.
Yeah.
Not at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I find that if you have somebody in the middle, call it whatever you will. A mediator, a couples counselor, or a coach.
You and your business partner.
Yeah.
You guys don't see eye to eye on a lot of stuff. I actually love the bickering back and forth often.
Which one?
Enough. Chris.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Yeah.
I love the bickering back and forth between you guys. Two different personalities.
Yeah.
But you guys work freaking well together.
Well, we've been best friends since we're like 12 years old.
So you understand each other, you understand the limits and all of that stuff. So
there's a level of honesty there.
Of course.
That's, and we could be saying harsh stuff to each other, and then an hour later it's all good.
Of course.
Stuff that needs to be said, and he's done it to me, and we've had some conversations, and stuff works that way just because we've got a brutal honesty.
And brutal honesty is good.
Yeah.
You have to have that. I think, and you have to have a friend that is willing to give it to you the way they see it. Mm-hmm. You may see it differently. They could be 100% wrong. But knowing that somebody thinks that, you are going to think, there might be some truth in there. I might have some improvement.
Yeah.
So you always need that type of, and that's sort of what a business coach would actually do to you, because they are a third party.
Yeah.
And they don't really care about your feelings. They're going to tell you, listen, this is what you're doing wrong. This is the type of mindset that's going to drag you down instead of lift you up.
Yeah.
That's the importance of a coach, I think, and the importance of a mentor.
Yeah.
And sometimes, the coach has reserved some time to talk to you. A mentor doesn't always have that time, because there's a reason they are there.
True. And I like to think of my coaching calls as 95% diagnosis, and like maybe sometimes 5% prescription.
Yeah.
If most times 0, because I'm mostly a sounding board where people get to, I ask them powerful questions, and they explore the answers themselves.
But you do have such a calming voice. Like, I feel like the whole world is falling down. I'm just going to give you a call. It's okay.
They might fall asleep.
They'll be, no, it's something. It's a calming, relaxing vibe, Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how long we've been doing this, but I think we should wrap it up.
Let's take a look. Yeah, you've got a heart out here at the...
Yeah, so honestly, Marty, thank you for coming.
It's my pleasure.
It's always a pleasure having a conversation with you. And so...
I always love doing these. I'll have you back on my show at some point.
Yeah, for sure. And we should get back on that book club. because that's key, right? A book club, and do you have? What are you reading now?
Right now, I'm reading Launch by Jeff Walker. It's a book on how to launch a online course.
Okay.
Yeah, very specific book.
Cool.
Yeah. What are you reading?
I bet you're actually learning about other stuff and not just online courses, probably, because there's so many things that are integrated in there.
Yeah, no, and his big thing is building an email list, because email is not new, but it's a proven system. It's one of those foundational systems.
Mm-hmm.
So if any realtors are listening to your episode today, I'm sure they are, and they would like a business planning session, I'll send you a link, and they can actually go and book 30 minutes in my calendar for free.
Yep.
And it's part of my launch for my course.
Okay.
It doesn't cost anything for them to book that.
Yep.
But at least they'll get information about the course that I'll be launching.
So we'll have that link.
Yeah, sure.
We'll have that. Yeah, we'll have that link. We'll post it up there, and the promo code as well, which is going to be
Rami or Rami Magic.
Sure. Okay. So we'll have that on there, and
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for watching. Marty is a genius when it comes to business, social media, and he just knows how to he has helped me take my business to the next level by just giving me that extra motivation. And we've established a stronger relationship during our book club, reading and getting this different perspective and feeding off of each other. And he provides a lot of knowledge. Thank you for watching. On to next week.